Just for the record, are you a progressive or are you a moderate?
I'm a progressive, but I'm a progressive who likes to get things done.
Secretary Clinton, is Bernie Sanders tough enough on guns?
No, not at all.
Congress does not regulate Wall Street. Wall Street regulates Congress. And we have got to break off these banks. Going to them and saying, please do the right thing.
No, that's not what...
kind of naive.
Anderson, you're looking at a block of granite when it comes to the issues.
It seems like pretty soft granite, though. I mean, you've been a Republican, you've been an independent.
And I would say this. I've been waiting for 10 minutes. I will say this.
You're over your time, though.
Well, you've let a lot of people go over their time.
First Democratic presidential debate now in the books, and it was a night dominated by a lot of people's thinking by frontrunner Hillary Clinton and Senator Bernie Sanders. Now, joining me now to talk about how all the candidates did, Chris Hahn, host of the Chris Hahn Show on 103.9 LI News Radio and former aide to Senator Charles Schumer, and Stony Brook University political science professor Dr. Leonie Huddy. Thank you both for coming in. Appreciate your time.
Great being here.
So let me start off real briefly, get each one of your impressions. Let me start with you, Dr. Leonie. I mean,
Yes.
Dr. Huddy. Just your brief impressions of last night's debate.
What I thought was great about last night's debate is it was a debate of substance. I thought it was a very good debate for the Democratic Party. People got along. They weren't screaming or shouting at each other. There was actually a lot of comedy across the candidates. And I thought, you know, they really tackled the issues. They really talked about some of their positions. And I think the three front runners, I'd say Sanders, Clinton, and O'Malley, did reasonably well.
Okay. Chris,
I thought exactly the same with the fact that we had issues discussed. There wasn't a lot of name calling, but I do think that this was a great night for former Secretary Hillary Clinton. I think that she kind of broke out of that cycle of everybody talking about the emails, everybody talking about Bernie Sanders. Bernie Sanders did not help himself out in that debate. I thought that his first 15 minutes, he wished he could have them back.
It seemed like almost 45 minutes it took him to warm up.
It really did, and that's because he didn't prepare. Let's be clear. He's never been on that stage before. Hillary Clinton's a veteran of dozens of presidential level debates, not to mention her husband's presidential debates. He hasn't been part of that process, and he did not prepare. He admittedly said he did not prepare for this debate. He's been riding a wave of momentum. He should have been super prepared for this debate. He also let her off the hook. That whole situation with the emails might have been the line of the night for him, but it was also the line of the night for her.
And we're going to get to that right now because she did attack him. It seemed like from the left on his voting record on gun rights.
Yep.
And he had an opportunity. Let's listen to the soundbite and get your reactions on the other side.
The American people are sick and tired of hearing about your damn emails. Enough of the emails. Let's talk about the real issues facing America.
Now, again, that was a question from Anderson Cooper talking about the email scandal that Hillary Clinton continues to go on. Was that a smart move? You seem to say it wasn't a smart move. Was that a smart move by Bernie Sanders?
From my perspective, I think he wanted to have this about the issues. He's a firebrand. He talks about economic populist issues. So I think in some ways he wanted to get that out of the way and get to what he wanted to talk about. It was fantastic for her. I mean, it couldn't have been better combined with what's been happening with Kevin McCarthy and this notion that, in fact, this is a witch hunt. She looked ebullient. This was one of the better things that could have happened last night.
She had a great week and a half. Kevin McCarthy basically admitting that the Benghazi committee is a witch hunt. Bernie Sanders letting her off the hook. Not to mention her own performance in debate was fantastic. And now in 2 weeks, next week, she's going to go to the Benghazi committee, and she's really going to turn it around. I think that the Bernie Sanders surge is probably going to subside somewhat. And all the talk for Biden to get in, I think she's really closed the door on Biden last night. Now, we'll see what happens next week, but
this is my own personal opinion, but it seemed like she was aligning herself a lot with President Obama and a lot of issues. Yes. She talked about her time as Secretary of State, being in the room when those tough decisions were made. Was that a message to Joe Biden? Was that her saying, look, you want to distinguish yourself, you want to align yourself, I'm here too, and if it's a two-person race, don't think that's going to be a gap between us.
She certainly went out of her way to be very, very complimentary to the Obama administration. So there was no question about that. I think in some ways she wanted to look like she was a good team player. And she did with everyone on the stage. I don't know if you watched that debate closely, there was a lot of head nodding. She made a lot of eye contact with whomever was speaking. And that wasn't true of all the other candidates.
Well, they weren't disagreeing on a lot of issues, right? They were basically together on a lot of issues. The question that the voters had to see last night was who can be president of the United States. Now, when she reaches out to Obama, remember, this is a Democratic primary debate. She's reaching out to Democrats. Republicans might not like Obama. Independents may be wishy-washy on Obama, but Democrats really like President Obama. They still really like President Obama. So, she wants to align herself with President Obama in a Democratic primary, and then when the general election comes around, she's got to see which way way the wind blows with the rest of the.
And there was one moment. There was one moment in that debate where she did seem like, if you do criticize her on being not genuine enough when she talked about the Keystone Pipeline, you know, I had my position for it when I finally had my position for it. I think you can say that there was a criticism. But should there be more debates? There's 6 debates in the Democratic primary. She is strong as a debater. She's gone through this before. Should she be saying, yeah, let's debate?
I think so. I think that when you run for public office, you should appear in public. And I think you should take on all comers. And I think there should be debates between Democrats and Republicans at this stage. Let there be lots of debates. Let there be a robust debate in America for who's going to be our next leader. These are critical. This is a critical position. The President of the United States is the most powerful person on the planet. We should know everything there is to know about this person and see how they handle pressure.
And let me give you the last word here, Dr. Huddy. 3 other candidates on stage. Is it time for Lincoln Chafee and Martin O'Malley?
I would say if it's not tonight, it's tomorrow. I think both performances by Jim Webb and Lincoln Chafee were terrible. There's no other way to describe it. It was dreadful. We saw Webb. He's complaining. I'm not getting time, and what's he doing? He's wasting his time by complaining.
It's like a player on a field arguing with the refs over a
I don't understand where he was going with that, and I don't understand why Lincoln Chafee's even in this debate at this point. You know, Martin O'Malley, look, I don't think he broke through, and I think his days are numbered as well. But he didn't hurt himself, and we'll see maybe in 4 years what he's doing.
We have 5 more debates. We'll get your opinions again and see how it shapes up in the next debate, how many people are left. Thank you very much for both of your time.
Thank you.